Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by LewdComplex.com. Be sure to use promo code SNEC127 at LewdComplex.com for all of your anime and hentai style clothing and other goodies. That's LewdComplex.com, promo code SNEC127. Enjoy the video, guys.
Loading scenario 127.
Now, we shall see how impressive you truly are.
Gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is SNEC127 and welcome back to another Dauntless video. And in today's video, I'm just going to be giving you guys my Dauntless Beginner's Guide. So, a few disclaimers before we go ahead and get into this video. Number one, I'm more used to playing this on Xbox. As you guys can see, I'm actually recording this on PlayStation 4 at the current time. So, if you hear a few button mix-ups and stuff like that, I'll be sure to try and translate them accordingly. But just know if I accidentally say LT, that could mean L2 for you, or RT, R2, Y, triangle, square, X, yada 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 yada. You guys get the picture. And as well, buckle down and be ready for a bit of a long guide, because I'm going to be giving you guys like pretty much a full-on tour of Ramsgate, at least from a beginner's perspective. And then I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit of tips and tricks with combat, crafting, all kinds of stuff. So there's going to be a lot to take in this video. So if you're watching this video, make sure you've just, sat a few minutes aside to, just listen and pay attention to the key points in here. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So you've created your character, you've done this tutorial. This is the city of Ramsgate. This is the main central hub of Dauntless. This is where you're going to interact with other players, do emotes, craft, build weapons, build armor, shop, all that fun stuff. Everything you need is pretty much right here in this area. Every single thing. That piece of cool gear that you see that guy standing next to you wearing, he built it somewhere in this place. Now, let's start simply by just going over to Hub. If you look at the bottom right hand corner, that's your inventory management for battle accessories. Things like potions, grenades, accessories, stuff like that. Things that help you out during combat. Bottom left hand corner, you have the text chat, just so you know. Top left hand corner, well, not quite the top, there's your Slayer level and stuff like that, and also your friends list. Now keep in mind, Dauntless is a full-on cross-platform game, meaning inside your lobby here you have PlayStation players, Xbox players, and PC players. In the future, you will have PlayStation players, Xbox, PC, Nintendo Switch, and mobile players. You notice I'll be walking up to this guy Zelth right here. He has a little symbol by his name. That little screen and tower, that represents a PC player. Now, a lot of you are going to be fooled because all you see is that symbol. Well, if you look carefully at other players, like this guy Shadow Walker over here, for example, you'll notice that his PC symbol is a little bit different. I have to chase the guy and hunt him down so we can, actually take a look at that symbol. But notice his is a screen and a laying down system. That means he's playing on another console. So yes, you have PS4, PC, and Xbox players all playing together in one server. But anyway, let's go ahead and get you guys into the crafting, show y'all some of the shops. Before we do that though, one other thing I wanted to mention is Dauntless uses the Epic Games launcher. So a lot of your friends and stuff like that you add in here, they're not going to look like the way you see them on your PlayStation or Xbox friends list. The PC players are probably already used to this, because they have to make custom names for every single game that they play. But PlayStation and Xbox users, this may be a little foreign to you guys. So when you go to look for your friends and you want to add them in-game, make sure you ask them what their Epic Games name is, not what their Xbox gamer tag or PlayStation tag. Sorry, I forgot to throw that key point in here, but let's go ahead and look at the shops. Now, this is your basic shop, your in-game store. Platinum is the paid currency of the game. Can also be earned in-game via the Battle Pass. If there's other ways to earn it, I personally don't know that. Feel free to leave that in the comments below. I'm still a bit new to this game. But this is basically, your in-game shop. It sells anything from cosmetics to dye to currencies you can use with the middleman to little booster potions and stuff like that. Now, keep in mind, guys, these little booster potions that help you during combat, they are way easier to craft. Like, I'll show you guys when we get that to the battle portion. I personally wouldn't even waste money on them, but to each his own. You know, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from supporting the developers or anything. I'm just saying they're stupidly easy. I don't know why anyone would pay cash for them. This is the battle pass guy. The battle pass in this game is actually quite easy to grind. This just gives you cosmetic goodies, some more, you know, booster items, things like that, extra gold, just, you know, stuff you'd expect from an RPG. Nothing that's going to give you any type of severe gameplay advantage or anything like that. It's mostly, you know, cosmetic good and fun, and a few things to help you out on your hunts here and there. Now, this here is basically your bounty board. This is where you're going to go to get all of your missions and everything like that. Let's go ahead and go through a couple different kinds since I have them here. These are patrols. Now, as you get closer and closer to endgame, patrols pretty much work like dailies. But patrols are also a type of quest that you do in Dauntless. You'll notice on the right-hand side it says daily patrol bonuses, rewards available in blah 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 amount of hours. Well, every day you're going to get a patrol that you can do that's going to give you bonus goodies for crafting, gold, stuff like that for each type of element of monster. Now, keep in mind you're going to get a random monster of that element when you do a patrol. So a patrol is not always going to be the same thing. So if you click a blaze patrol, and depending on your level and how far you are in the game, be ready to fight any blaze monster that's of your level. If you do a frost patrol, be ready to fight any frost monster that's of your level, and etc, etc. You guys probably get what I'm saying. Pursuits are your basic quests. This is probably where you're going to see a lot of the new behemoths and stuff like that. Behemoths are always going to come up recommended by your power level. Now, power level, in short, in this game, it kind of works like item level in an MMO, your light level in Destiny, and things like that. If you've played any MMO or any looter shooter, you know pretty much how your power level works. The only thing different about this game is power level is split into two sections. And mind you, hunts and different quests, they don't go off of your total power level. They go off of your separate power level. Your armor is one power level and your weapon is another power level. So as you guys can see, my power level for my armor totally is 250. My power level for my current weapon is 232. So whenever you do a hunt, it's going to have a recommendation for your weapon and armor power level, just so you guys have a heads up with that. But we're going to go ahead, keep running our way around here through Ramsgate, head back up to where we were chasing that guy earlier. This is the weapon crafting dude. And while we go in here, I'm going to show you guys the four different classes. Well, there's actually 5, but we're going to start with the basic 4. You have the swordsman. Swords are good for doing high damage and hitting wounded areas. Hammers, high damage, good for staggering. Twin blades, they are good for hitting wounds, I believe crit damage, and also fast attack speed. Obviously, I'm sure you can tell by the class. Axes, I think axes are good at making wounds too, but I know they have good overall high damage, crit damage. Now axes and the hammer, as you guys know, are slower attacking weapons, and pikes are good for crit damage and making wounds. If I missed any extras about any of these weapons, feel free to correct me in the comments below. I'm just going off of the experience I have with the game right now. So the pike is your typical like spear type weapon. The axe, giant 2-hand great axe. The chain blades are, you know, dual wielded like scythe kind of things. The hammer is a big ass hammer, and the sword is a two-hand sword. Each weapon, you know, they all have their good capabilities, their ups and downs, and things like that. So I would advise just, you know, picking one, playing around with them in the beginning, see which ones you like, which ones you don't like, things like that. And we'll get on to the 6th class of the game later on. I know I said there were 4 initially, so my apologies for that. But this is also the guy where you come to craft your different weapons. As you guys can see, I have a variety of weapons on me right now. I have a Boreas, a Drask, a Embermane. As you unlock more behemoths, you're going to unlock weapons pretty much based off of that specific behemoth. And usually when you do, that weapon takes after the element of that behemoth. Like for example, if you kill a certain fire behemoth, chances are it gives you a fire-based weapon. This fire weapon will be good for killing like ice-based behemoths and stuff like that. I'm sure you guys know the elemental tree by now. Fire hurts ice, water hurts fire, stuff like that. You've played a Pokemon game or two in your life and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure you guys, but we'll go over that some more when you have the combat. As you guys can see down here at the bottom portion, upgrading weapons, it costs a specific amount of gold and materials. However, I know you guys can see that this amount here looks pretty easy right now. I'll go ahead and upgrade this twice so you guys can see the point. I upgraded once. Once you get these weapons to +5, that's when the upgrades, see, they start to cost a lot more different items and things like that. So it doesn't always stay that easy. I believe weapons and armor go to a maximum of +15. If I'm not mistaken, it could be a little bit more. If I'm wrong, please do feel free to correct me about that in the comments section. But this is Mora. She is the gear mender. Same process as weapons, guys. Here is where you come to build different gear sets, upgrade different gear sets. Now, all your gear sets, they're going to have different personalities to them. Some are going to be good against other behemoths. Some are going to be bad. Like, for example, you shouldn't wear an ice-based armor set while fighting a fire behemoth because it could do more damage to you and stuff like that. Me personally, I try to stick with a lot of neutral kind of stuff, but it's about building a combination that works for you. I'm not saying that if you wear a certain set against this behemoth you're going to get melted, because there's a lot of things you can do to build these sets differently. So you have to play around with combinations and see what works for you, see what you like the look of and stuff like that. There's a lot of factors that come into here when choosing your armor. But armor pieces, they work pretty much the same as the weapons. There's different materials. And just like before with the weapons, once you get an armor piece to +5, it takes a substantial amount more materials to upgrade it. And I can imagine once you get a piece to +10, it takes even more. I haven't got to see that yet, but we're definitely going to find out. This is Arkin Drew. He is the lantern guy. Now, lanterns, you're going to notice that your character has a little lantern on his hip. These always carry like little special buffs. One default buff you get by them automatically that a lot of people might not notice is if you push L1 or LB on your controller, it gives you a little shield buff, that helps you from taking so much damage from the next hit. I believe the shield's only good for about 1 or 2 attacks, so it's not a permanent barrier that's going to stay on you the whole fight. You do have to remember to refresh that barrier when it's full, but they also come with other little special effects. Me personally, I use Scarns right now because it gives me a little damage boost. It creates like this swarm of rocks around me that does extra damage and AoE damage over time to the enemy and stuff like that. Because my build, I'm going for pretty high DPS kind of things, so I thought that was something good to throw along with my build. Now, we're going to come around over here. Where is this guy? Where is he? This is the gun dude. That's what I call him. But his actual name is Jonik Zai. I probably butchered his name all wrong. Keep in mind, you can't unlock the repeater, the gun weapons that you guys see on my hip right here, till about level 5. So he's not going to be accessible to you right away. Once you get your Slayer level to about level 5, that's when you'll get quests for him, and the quests pretty much give you the gun, but he's the dude you come to craft grenades. They work just like, crafting different gear pieces and stuff like that, and potions, which I'll show you guys in a second. And this is where you come to craft your gun. Now, the gun works a lot different than the basic weapons. I do think the gun's very unique because you craft the gun piece by piece, and all these pieces give you different perks. If you want different elements of bullets, you change the barrels, but the grips give you different perks and abilities, the chambers give you different perks and abilities, and the prisms give you different perks and abilities. So you have to figure out a good build for the gun that's best for you and what you want to do, and things and things like that. Now we're going to keep running around here. We got one more NPC we want to visit. This is Katerin, by the way. She's pretty much the main quest giver of the game. You'll be meeting her literally when you first start the game, so if you're here in the tutorial area, you're probably a bit familiar with her already. She's pretty much the lead quest giver. She's going to send you on most of your missions. But the last NPC I want to show y'all is Marcus Boher. You come here to craft potions. Now, these are the potions. A lot of these, like I said, are the ones you can buy in the shop. As you guys can see, look on the right, and you see the right-hand side how I have a ton of material to make these potions. Yeah, they're piss easy to make. So like I said, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from making purchases to support the developers, but they're just really easy to make. I don't see the point in buying them. They're ridiculously easy. Now, last but not least, the last thing I want to show y'all here in the hub before we go into a battle and I teach you guys about combat. This is a core station. When you'll get cores as you level up, do your battle pass and things like that. And they give you an item called cells. If you're wondering what cells are, I want you to think materia from Final Fantasy VII if you've ever played the Final Fantasy games. But except it's not going to give you, you know, exact abilities. It's more like going to give you buffs and perks for your weapon. Like when you come down here, you guys will see on my pistols, for example, I have modifications. These are telling me, you know, the different pieces of the pistol that, you know, I built when I showed you guys earlier. But you'll notice I have no mod equipped. And down here, right after the Snowdrift Prism, I have what's called a Blade Storm Cell and Agility Cell. Well, you get these cells as you play the game. These cells add different perks to your weapons and things like that. They can give you higher part damage. They can give you more wound damage. Some of these can give you health regeneration. They do all kinds of things, and you equip them not only on your weapons but your armor too. These little indicators that you see here on the right hand side of my armor stats, those are all cells, and they go by tier rarities. You're going to have green rare ones. I believe the greens are commons, blues are rare. I believe purples are legendaries or epic or something like that. They have all kinds of different gear rarities that, you know, you're probably used to. If you've played any RPG in 2018 or 2019, you know about, you know, those gear rarity colors, the greens, the blues, the purples, the golds, all that stuff. You know, the more rare it is, the better they are. But certain weapons and certain armors are only compatible with specific ones. So you guys have to keep all that in mind when you're making your build. But anyway, let's go on ahead, head over into a hunt so I can show you guys the battle screen, all that stuff like that. Let's see what we're going to go ahead and do here. We're just going to go ahead and take a basic patrol, so that way we can just go ahead, wander around, screw around a bit, and I can just show you guys what's good in the hood over there. Alright, so the cool thing about Dauntless is every single hunt you go on, you're going to get a hunt info guide, and it's going to give you the chance to adapt to the current situation that you're about to go in. Like, for example, element guide. Usually, if it weren't for the fact that I was doing a neutral hunt and I just realized I picked a bad one to give an example, so please forgive me, it's going to tell you what weapons and armors are good against a behemoth. Like, for example, if I was going to fight a ice behemoth, it would tell me that, you know, fire weapons are good against it and things like that, and it would tell me, you know, what armor is bad, what armor I should be using. As you guys can see, like I was telling you about the item and weapon levels, it tells you, you know, weapon power. My weapon power is 232, which is above the recommended of 200. My armor power is 270. If those numbers are green, you are strong enough or stronger than the average power needed for the behemoth you're about to fight. If those weapon numbers are red, I would highly recommend upgrading your gear and coming back, unless you have a well-suited team that's pretty much just willing to carry you through this. Now, this is the landing sequence. You're going to see this every match. As you guys can see, the system icons are right next to all the players I'm playing with. We have 3 players here in the match with us. Those are their health gauges. You guys can communicate via text chat or voice chat. And as you guys can see, their systems are also put next to them. I'm actually a PS4 player in here with 3 Xbox players. And it looks like 2 of them are in a guild together as well, the Yumi Guild. I guess that's what they're called. Now, this is the game screen. Usually for every single behemoth, you have about 30 minutes to take them down. As you can see, on the right-hand side, it says airship fuel remaining. You're going to see all kinds of different items here around the world. You guys see these lovely glowing mushrooms and flowers and stuff like that? These are those easy crafting materials I was telling you guys about that are everywhere to make these potions. Now, on the top of your screen, you're going to have a compass that says west, northwest, southwest, all that stuff, you know, the different areas of a compass. If you've played any battle royale game, you're probably familiar with that compass system. Whenever you're doing a hunt, all 4 players are going to wander off to go collect materials. They're going to go try and find the behemoth, the big boss monster, and stuff like that. When a player does find it, you guys can see there's a little fiery symbol. That means that player let off a flare. If you hold down the left trigger or right trigger, you'll have the emote to flare. That lets the other players know the direction of the behemoth. So as you can see, me and IMXSU, however you say their name, we're both heading in the direction of the behemoth right now. Now most players, you know, if they don't see you arrive within a few seconds, they'll let off multiple flares just to let you know that that things are about to get heavy. Now, if you go over here and head to your move list, you can see the rotation and different moves that you know your weapons are capable of. And then also here at the bottom, the damage text legend, it also tells you what types of different damages that you're going to be doing. Blue is stagger damage. The reddish orange color is wound damage. Yellow is part damage, and basic damage is white. Now, none of these damages are bad damage. If you're doing white damage, don't ever let somebody tell you that, you know, you're not doing good DPS. The thing is, when you wound parts and everything of different monsters, it increases the drop rate of the parts that you need for the weapons and armor. So a lot of people, when they're playing in here, they're usually going for different pieces and parts of the monster to make more parts of gear and everything. The overall goal, though, as always in this game, is to kill the monster. Because if the monster doesn't die, you get no loot. So as long as you're always doing damage, whether it's yellow, red, blue, or white, make sure your goal in the long run is you're always DPSing. Now, when a monster is wounded, they will have a blue glowing spot on their body. Like, say if I wound the arm to this behemoth, for example, he'll have a glowing spot on his arm or his leg or his tail or his head. That means that you should start damaging that area, especially if that's the specific part that you're after for that monster. Now, my ideal group composition, especially when you're farming parts, I personally recommend having a hammer and a pike user in your party. The reason for that is because, as I said earlier, hammer users are really good for stagger damage and staggering behemoths, and pike users are extremely good at creating wounds. If you guys have watched any of my live streams, you'll know that because I play with a lot of pike users. Me and my friends, we actually played with a pretty skilled pike user on one of my streams the other day, and we got to learn, you know, and see what happens when, you know, you upgrade those types of characters and things like that. But anyway, guys, that's going to go ahead and do it for my Dauntless Beginner's Guide. I will make some endgame based guides in the future, but there's not too much different that I know when it comes to endgame except hard modes of different creatures to farm harder gear. So chances are the endgame guides I'll make will probably be like guides on actually taking down specific monsters and stuff like that. But overall, this guide is going to give you pretty much the gist of what you should be doing and working on in this game. But anyway, guys, if this video helped you, smash that thumbs up button for me, and I want to thank you all so much for watching. It's your boy Tnek127, and please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till next time, peace out, take care.
There's a new